Welcome to the DonDiva Coaching Talk Radio Coaching Evening Edition. We'll start the evening off with a dynamic coaching hot topic of the day regarding where we left off yesterday. And where we left off yesterday was in regards to your values and dissecting the problem and getting to where your values are put in place. We put in some powerful questions and things like that. So the next stage of this is your life compass. And in a life compass, it's basically just the importance of things that are meaningful to you. So we cited those different things that would be meaningful to anybody in this world and whatnot. But what we're going to do is hone in on the life compass of what's important to you in the domain called life. What sort of person do you want to be? What sort of personal strengths and qualities do you want to cultivate? What do you want to stand for? What do you want to do? How do you ideally want to behave? And with that life compass, we're going to do some deep pondering today because a lot of this has to do with knowing yourself in different areas, whether it's parenting, personal growth, leisure, spirituality, health, work, community, and environment, family and relationships, intimate relationships, and social relationships. And in that, you need to be able to kind of make yourself some boxes, right? So get your sheet of paper out and then put all these boxes out there with these different subject matters or whatever's important to you at that point in time. So in those boxes, what you're going to do is, if it's irrelevant to you, that's okay. Just leave it blank. If you're stuck on a box, just skip it, and then come back later to something else. And it's okay if the same things appear in each one of those boxes that actually do matter to you. And then what you're going to do is mark within that box each one that you find important, and it helps you to identify those core values to cut through the domains of your life that are important to you, because not everything is going to be important to everyone. Not everything is going to be the same. So once you've done all that, go through each one, and you're going to make a square, a small upper square and a small lower square there. And what you're going to do inside of that is that you're going to scale from 0, 1 to 10, whether you do it up or lower. Okay? How important these values are to you. And at this point in your life, 0 equals no importance, 10 extremely important. And it's okay if there's several squares that have the same score. So when you get through all of that, finally in the lower small square inside each box, mark a scale of 0 to 10 how effectively you're living by these values. 0, not at all, 10 to living them fully. Again, it's okay if several of these squares are the same score. Finally, have a good look at what you've written and what does this tell you. And it tells you about what's important to you in your life. And with that, we're going to go over some kind of questions and things like that will help you think about this. And these are questions for different stages in your life. And what we're going to do is we're going to go over clarifying vision, objectives, and purpose. These things will help you put in perspective these boxes and be able to give you a better score. Because you're going to be able to figure out what's missing, what does success look like to you, what do you really want, what is most important to you, what are you yearning for, what is the biggest change you'd like to make in your life, either business or personal, professional, social, and do you have enough support to do it? And then from there, while we're brainstorming with this little project here, what we're going to do is be able to, while you're looking at the clarifying vision and objections of this, or objectives per se, because you might have some objections to it because there's some things that in life doesn't qualify or some things that you're kind of conflicted on. So that's where you're going to have the clarifying vision, objectives, and purpose, but you're also going to be able to go through a scale of 1 to 10 in these questions that I'm asking you right now, so that way you can kind of hone in on this project that we're doing right now. Then from there, on the importance of it, that's where that scale comes from again. So you're going to kind of do like 3 scales. So how do you define at this stage of life success, happiness? Then you're going to also ask yourself, what motivates me? What motivates me to go from here to point A to point B? And sometimes you would ask yourself, would I die for this? Or would this be something that I can put off? Or, if I die tomorrow, would I be able to do this? Would I be able to achieve this? Is it something that I really have to do, or is it something that I can put off? Those things help you put things in perspective. I know it's a little bit, what I call, extreme to think like that, but it's kind of like, did you die though? You haven't died yet, but the thing is, you don't have time on your side the older you get. And then you have to ask yourself, am I happy? What do I want to create? What do I really need? What is my heart telling me? What would really make my heart sing? And how does this outcome of this fit into this project or the goals that you have top five in your life? Because in that, with the parenting, personal growth, leisure, spirituality, health, work, community environment, family relationships, intimate relationships, social relationships, you should be able to ask yourself, what's important to me now? What do I want to happen? What would I want if I didn't have a clear certain leeway or rules or regulations of how I'm going to do this, but what would I want in the here and now? What is that like if I got what I wanted? Who has a great influence on my life, business, personal, professional, and all that? Then write those things down. What did these people do to cause that significance or insignificance? What was influential or non-influential? Whose list are you on for influential in their lives? And then from there, you'll be able to kind of put these things in categories and on that scale to 1 to 10. And then what will you achieve? In other words, what will others see of you in these areas of parenting, personal growth, leisure, spirituality, health, work, community environment, family relationships, intimate relationships, social relationships? Then what does that mean to you? And then do you know if it's going to be good enough? Therefore, you're going to be able to know your ideal outcome for your situation, what you would consider important, not important, things like that. And then on top of that, where would you want to be in this situation in these areas that we're working on? Because in this problem, or schematics of figuring out what's your problematic areas versus your great areas, you're going to be able to identify all that on your scale, but you'll be able to better hone it from asking these questions. Then from there, what is the desired outcome? Because part of that is just also with problems and values. You want to go into understanding that if you don't identify things on a scale, you're never going to be able to weigh it out. You can't put everything on terror mode. You can't always say, okay, hey, I'm going to just figure it out later, or I got enough time. Because we always say, I got time until we're out of time. And then we're going to go into what would help you also figure out this chart here. You're going to want to look into your daily success habits. Because one thing what we always do is we often overlook the importance of daily habits and changing ourselves and our lives. But often it's the small changes we make to our daily routines that enable the big changes in our lives and careers, and also in our social life as well. And in these tools that I'm giving you, it's going to help you build a simple framework around what is your activities daily, weekly, monthly, and then create an infrastructure so no matter what happens, you'll feel calm and rest assured in that. And that's why I was telling you, you got to make this whole little project a bigger project, a life project that encompasses all the things in your life compass. Because if you don't have your daily success habits down, you don't have your daily compass down and what's important to you and those questions that we ask. And you need to ask yourself in that too. What are my top three priorities in life right now? What are my top three stressors in life right now? And then on top of that, you'll be able to whittle down these things in parenting, personal growth, leisure, spirituality, health, work, community, environment, family relationships, intimate relationships, social relationships. And then you got to identify too, what supportive daily habits, specific daily actions could you introduce in all of that? Because while you're making this scale and everything else, you should be able to say to yourself, I need to write those actions that best support me, including home, personal, work life. And these things may be specific or measurable. And those are what they call SMART things. Because you want to make sure you give yourself enough time to get everything done and reasonable about that. So you actually know what you need to be doing and clearly say what's going to be in my next completed step. Now, here's a good tip. You know yourself. Where do you sabotage yourself regularly? What ideas do you regularly, perhaps secretly have? Examples. Have 15 minutes of silence or alone or time alone each day. Drink 8 glasses of water each day. Be at my desk by 8 a.m. Leave by 6 p.m. every day. Eat a healthy breakfast every morning. Be in bed by 10:30 p.m. Do at least 30 minutes of exercise activity per day. Take 10 minutes mid-afternoon to recap where I'm at. Make all my calls in the first hour of the day. Write my top 3 priorities for the day out every morning before starting work or whatever you need to be doing. Eat lunch away from my desk. Connect daily with partner, spouse, 5 to 10 minutes. Write all appointments down in one place. With that, you're giving yourself these habits, right? And these are just examples. Then you're going to say, what does that benefit to me? Then from there, with those habits that you've committed to, you'll say, I will start this time tomorrow. I will start this time next week. I will start this time next month, or what XYZ through quarter 3/4. What do I need to be implementing in these habits? I will be someone who is, and find yourself some I am affirmations. I am going to be on time. I am going to be consistent. I am going to make this happen every day at this time, this hour, this week, this month. And remember this, it takes time and practice to implement new habits. They start a simple action, gradually you do them regularly, and they become habits. And like I said, we're working towards your life compass, your lifestyle change, your habit changes, and the things that are going to gradually get you to the next day, next week, next month. And it takes 21 days to formulate a habit, but it takes a lifetime to break it. So what you're going to want to do is continue to commit to do this every single day. And then what you need to also ponder as well is, what do you consider to be your role in the world that you're living in, whether it's parenting, personal growth, leisure, spirituality, health, work, community and environment, family relationships, intimate relationships, social relationships. What is a secret passion you have? Those things like that you want to ask yourself. Is there something you're avoiding or running away from? What would it be? Because each person has a unique way of thinking, interacting with these things around them. And then as your coach, it's helpful for me to be able to help you identify these things to get a better understanding of how you view the world and in general yourself in particular, so that we can come up with a good game plan that will help you understand all of these different things in your life compass. And in these pondering questions, it's going to stimulate you to think and to make our work together more productive. It's also healthy if you take a quiet moment to compose yourself and think about these responses and answers and questions, because as you're doing this life compass, those are things that are going to help stimulate you to, like I said, finish up the scale. You're going to be able to look at it on these different areas, and you're going to have better ways of identifying that, putting in your habit changes. And then what I want you to do is answer all these questions as clearly and thoughtfully as possible, expressing what's best for you, and a couple of sentences, a couple of short words are usually enough. And then from there, you'll be able to self-actualize, identify. And then finally, these questions, they're not for you to not feel comfortable, but you may not have an answer for it. That's okay. Then often when we're exploring discomfort, we're also achieving our greatest growth. So it's going to motivate you to get there and stimulate what motivates me. What motivates me as a parent? What motivates me as a personal growth? What motivates me in my leisure? What motivates me in my spirituality? What motivates me in my health? What motivates me in my work, community, and environment? Family relationships, intimate relationships, social relationships, because those are things that you tend to self-sabotage or end up allowing other people to sabotage. Then it's going to help you identify what's missing in your life and what will make life more fulfilling. And then what is your dream? That's the biggest thing. Your dream, your goal, your ended outcome. Like, everybody has a legacy, everybody has a dream, everybody has an intended outcome that they want. But you got to remember, like, how do I get there? It's part of habit change. It's part of lifestyle change. And then also it's going to help you get the concept of a higher power, whether it's light, whether it's your God, whether it's your religion, whatever keeps you in that good moral compass where you're trying to go at and where you're trying to be and where you fit into your life. And then it'll help you get your success points and things for marginal success. And then you have to ask yourself, if I could have anything in the world, what would it be? And those things encompass in all those different areas that we're talking about in our project and whatnot. Because if you don't know that, you're not going to be able to answer these things specifically and make yourself in that uncomfortable zone, but uncomfortable enough to make change. And then